Hello, royalties! I am your English coach, Irene. In this lesson, we will be looking at all about modals, the different types of modals, and how to use them. Welcome to Level Up with Coach Irene. To begin, what are modals? Modals are auxiliary or helping verbs in English that express different kinds of meanings, such as ability, possibility, permission, necessity, and obligation. They are used alongside the main verb of a sentence to convey these ideas. They include can, could, may, shall, should, will, would, must, might, ought to, need, there. Let's talk about can as a modal. Can is one of the most common and versatile modal verbs in English. It expresses various meanings, including ability, permission, possibility, and informal requests. Let's look at the uses of can. Number one, can is used to express ability. It expresses someone's ability to do something. For example, he can speak 3 languages. She can cook very well. Number two, permission. Can is used to ask for or give permission. For example, can I borrow your book? You can use my pencil. Number three, possibility. Can expresses that something is possible or likely. For example, accidents can happen if you're not careful. It can get cold in the mountains. Number four, can is used to ask informal requests and offers. For example, can you help me with this? Can I get you something to drink? It is also used for suggestions. For example, you can try starting your computer if it doesn't work. Note, the negative form of can is cannot formally and can't informally. For example, I cannot hear you or I can't hear you. Can is essential for expressing a range of meanings in English, from practical skills to polite requests. Moving on, let's look at could. Could is a modal verb in English that is used in various contexts, including expressing ability in the past, possibility, polite requests, and hypothetical situations. It is the past tense form of can, but it has additional uses beyond indicating past ability. Let us look at the uses of could. It is used to indicate past ability. For example, when I was young, I could run 5 miles. It is also used to indicate possibility, implying that something is possible but not certain. For example, this could be the solution we are looking for. Number 3, for polite requests. Could is commonly used to make polite requests. For example, could you help me with this? Number 4, it is used for suggestion or to give advice. For example, we could go for a walk. Number 5, could can be used to express hypothetical actions or situations, often paired with if clauses. For example, if I had more time, I could finish the project. Number 6, possibility in the past. That is, with have plus past participle. Could have refers to something that was possible in the past but didn't happen. For example, she could have won the race if she worked harder. I could have called you, but I forgot. The negative form of could is could not or couldn't. For example, I could not swim when I was a child. He couldn't finish the project on time. Could is versatile and expresses a wide range of meanings, often softening statements or making them more polite. Moving on, let's look at may. May is a modal verb in English used to express permission, possibility, or wish. It is more formal than some other modals and have specific application in both everyday and formal contexts. May is used to seek permission, to show possibility, for polite requests, to express wishes, and to show possibility in the past using would have plus past participle. Examples include, you may leave early. It may rain tomorrow. May I ask you a question? May you have a long and happy life. He may have forgotten the meeting. The negative form of may is may not, and it is used for prohibition. May not is used to indicate that something is not allowed. For example, you may not use your phone during the test. May is an important modal verb that conveys politeness, possibility, and formal permission, making it a versatile tool in English communication. Number 4, might. Might is a modal verb in English that expresses possibility, hypothetical situations, polite suggestions, and making guesses. It is often used to indicate a lesser degree of certainty compared to may or can. The uses of might include possibility. Number 2, hypothetical or unreal situation. It's also used for polite suggestion or requests. Number 4, for possibility in the past with have plus past participle. Examples include, it might rain later. If I had more money, I might travel the world. You might want to double check your work. She might have forgotten the meeting. The key difference between may and might is may implies a higher possibility than might. For example, it may rain today. This implies that it is more likely to rain today. However, saying it might rain today shows less possibility of it raining today. In addition, may is more formal for permission, while might is used more for possibility or hypothetical situation. The negative form of might is might not. It doesn't have a contraction form. For example, she might not come to the meeting. Might is a flexible modal verb that allows speakers to express uncertainty, politeness, and hypothetical outcomes effectively. Number 5, shall. Shall is a modal verb used primarily to indicate future actions, offer suggestions, or express obligation or determination. It is less common in modern informal English, but remains important in formal and legal contexts. Let's look at the uses of shall. Shall is used for future intentions. It is also used for offers or suggestions, for obligation or promise, to show determination. Examples: I shall return tomorrow. Shall we meet at 6 p.m.? The tenant shall pay the rent on the first day of each month. We shall fight for our right. The negative form of shall is shall not or shan't. For example, you shall not pass without permission. Shall remains an important modal verb, especially in formal, legal, and literary language, even though it is less frequently used in modern day conversation. Number 6, should. Should is a modal verb commonly used in English to express advice, obligation, probability, and expectations. It conveys a sense of what is appropriate, advisable, or likely in a given situation. Let us look at the uses of should and examples. Number 1, for giving advice or making suggestions. For example, you should eat more vegetables. Number 2, expressing obligations or duty. For example, people should follow the law. Number 3, expressing probability or expectation. For example, the train should arrive at 5 p.m. Number 4, giving warnings or expressing conditional outcomes. For example, you should apologize or he might be upset. Number 5, for making polite suggestions or asking for opinions. For example, what should I wear to the party? Number 6, it is used for past possibility or regret with have plus past participle. You should have studied harder. The negative form of should is should not or shouldn't. For example, you shouldn't eat so much sugar, or you should not eat so much sugar. Should is a modal verb that helps to express advice, expectation, and regret in both formal and informal contexts. Number 7, will. Will is a modal verb in English, primarily used to express future actions, intentions, promises, predictions, and decisions made at the moment of speaking. It is one of the most common modals in English. The uses of will include: number 1, future actions and predictions. For example, she will travel to Paris next week. It will rain tomorrow. Number 2, for decisions made at the moment of speaking. I will help you with your homework. Number 3, for promises or intentions. I will always love you. Number 4, for offers and invitation. Will you have some coffee? Number 5, for polite requests or suggestions. Will you help me with this? Number 6, for certainty or determination. You will succeed if you try. The negative form of will is will not or won't. For example, I won't be able to attend, or I will not be able to attend. The contraction form of will is I'll. For example, I'll call you tomorrow. Will is an essential and flexible modal verb used across many contexts to indicate the future, certainty, and intentions. It is a key component of fluent English communication. Next, let us look at would. Would is a modal verb in English used to express polite requests, hypothetical situations, future in the past, repeated action in the past, and more. It is often seen as the past tense form of will, but has broader uses beyond simple tense changes. The uses of would include for polite requests and offers. For example, would you like a cup of tea? Number 2, for hypothetical situations. For example, if I had more time, I would travel the world. Number 3, future in the past. He said he will call later. Number 4, repeated actions or habits in the past. When we were kids, we would play outside all day. Number 5, it is used to express preferences. For example, I would rather stay home than go out. Number 6, polite suggestions or opinions. For example, I would suggest trying a different approach. Number 7, conditionals. For example, if I were rich, I would buy a mansion. The negative form of would is would not or wouldn't. For example, if I were rich, I wouldn't work so much. Or, if I were rich, I would not work so much. Would helps convey politeness, hypothetical scenarios, and past intentions, making it a vital part of fluent English. If you wish to know the difference between would, could, and should, Do well to click the link in the description box. There, I talked about the difference between the three models. Number 9, must. Must is a modal verb used to express obligation, necessity, strong advice, or certainty. It is one of the strongest modals in English, often conveying a sense of requirement or inevitability. The uses of must include: number 1, obligation or necessity. For example, you must wear a seatbelt whilst driving. Number 2, for strong advice or recommendations. For example, you must visit the museum when you are in town. Number 3, for deduction or certainty. For example, he must be at work. His car is parked outside. Number 4, for prohibition. The negative form of must is used for prohibition. For example, you must not smoke here. Visitors mustn't touch the artwork. Must is one of the strongest modal verbs, crucial for conveying necessity, logical conclusions, and strong prohibitions in English. Moving forward, let's look at number 10, ought to. Ought to is a modal verb used to express advice, moral obligation, expectations, or probability. It is similar in meaning to should, but conveys a slightly stronger sense of duty or correctness. Ought to is used for advice or recommendations. For example, you ought to eat more vegetables. Number 2, for moral obligation or duty. People ought to help those in need. Number 3, for expectation or probability. She ought to arrive by now. The negative form of ought to is ought not to. For example, he ought not to ignore his health. Ought to remains a common polite way to offer advice or express obligation, though in some contexts, should is more frequently used in everyday conversation. Number 11, need. Need is a modal verb when used to express necessity or obligation in certain situations. It can also function as a main verb with a different structure and meaning. Need is used to express necessity or obligation. For example, you need not worry about the results. Number 2, to express lack of necessity. You need not come if you don't want to. Need can be used as main verb. Let us look at the difference between need as a modal verb and as a main verb. Need does not take to before the verb. For example, you need not go. Whilst as a main verb, it takes to before the verb. For example, you need to go. Need as a modal verb is used primarily for necessity and lack of obligation. Its use is more formal or less common compared to other modals like must or should. The negative form of need is need not or needn't. For example, you needn't hurry. The modal verb needn't or need not is still used to express that something is unnecessary. Lastly, dare. Dare is a modal verb when used to express courage or challenge, though it can also function as a main verb. As a modal verb, it is less common but still important in certain formal or literary contexts. Dare is used to express challenge or defiance. For example, how dare you speak to me like that? To express lack of courage. For example, I dare not ask him about it. Dare as a modal verb emphasizes boldness, challenge, or lack of courage. Its negative form is dare not. It is formal or literary, while daren't is less common in modern English. For example, I daren't try it, or I dare not try it. The main verb dare is more frequently used in everyday conversation. Let us look at the differences between the modal verb dare and the main verb dare. The modal verb dare does not include to before the verb. For example, he dare not speak, whilst the main verb dare takes to before the verb. He dares to speak. The modal verb uses dare not for negatives, whilst the main verb uses does not dare or do not dare for negatives. For example, for modal verb, we have she dare not go out alone at night, whilst for main verb dare, we have she does not dare go out alone at night. Note that the main verb dare is more frequently used in everyday conversation. With this, we have come to the end of this lesson. I believe that you got value. Do well to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our exquisite channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.